Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the first episode of FabriQuiz. I'm happy to have you here. I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. And before we start, first of all, thanks everyone for joining. Thanks for spending Sunday with us. And I hope you'll enjoy and then that this quiz will really become a benchmark for uh, learning about Microsoft Fabric in a fun and interactive way. My name is Nicola. As you probably know, because you are on Data Mozart channel, I'm blogging at data-mozart.com. So yeah, I'm very, very interested and passionate about all the things about Fabric. So hi Bertie, hi Rigoberto, hi Ricardo, hola Ricardo. Great to see you all here. So yes, maybe we should slowly start because it's Sunday. I don't want to take too much of your time, but let's have some fun today. And also, there will be an opportunity for you to win the prize, of course, if you want to take participation in the quiz. So it's not mandatory. You can just hang around, try to learn a thing or two, but also if you want to compete for the prize, yeah, you should take participation in our quiz. Okay, so a couple of things before we start, and the first thing I want to introduce is the prize for the first episode. A few months ago, the book that I co-authored with Ben Weissman, Fundamentals of Microsoft Fabric, was published by O'Reilly. So the first prize for this episode of the quiz is the printed version or the physical copy of the book. So after the quiz is done and we have a winner, I would kindly ask the winner to get in touch with me. I'll share all the details about what is the easiest way to get in touch with me, and then I will send you the printed copy of the book. So basically, if you want to learn more about Fabric and all things about Fabric, I think this would be a good way. So this is for the first episode. We'll see how it goes from there. I'm actively searching for sponsors to provide some cool prizes for you guys. So if you have anyone who might be interested in providing some prizes, of course, prizes must be related to the topic of this quiz. So it's something about data analytics. Send them my way. Obviously, I don't want to make any money of this, but the more sponsors we get, the more prizes we get. I will share all of this with you guys. So let's make this quiz more fun and more competitive for all of you. Okay, so going back here, and just a couple of things before we start with the quiz itself. I have a couple of things that I would like for you to know in advance before we start. So it's not rules, it's more like guidelines about how this quiz works, and specifically about the software that I'm using for this quiz. So you get a better feeling and better understanding of how everything will work. Of course, we will have one introduction, one question that is just for testing, for you to get a better feeling about the software itself, and then we start with the real thing. But enough talking. So first of all, you will see the questions on your screen, and then I strongly encourage you to use mobile devices to answer. So usually how it works, and since I see Pablo Ricardo is also here, I know he runs Power BI quiz in Spanish. So more or less it's very similar. You register for the quiz, and then you will use your mobile devices, phones, tablets, whatever, to provide the answer. Just checking. Oh, Fernando. Hi, Fernando. Great to see you. Hi, Brent. Hi, Argenis. Hi, guys. Great to have you here. Okay, and then please keep in mind that there is a slight delay between the streaming software that I'm using and the YouTube. So you are watching this on YouTube, and basically there is approximately 10 minutes of lag between the streaming software and YouTube. So every question has intentionally 10 seconds more time to answer because of this lag. So since the moment you see the question, there will be a lag. So I want to create like a fair battle for all of you. So it's 1 minute per question plus these 10 seconds due to a lag. As I already mentioned, there will be one introductory questions just to start, to see how it works and everything else. And then after that, we have 10 real questions with points. How the points are assigned, it's not determined by me, it's determined by the software itself. The most important thing is to give the correct answer, obviously. And another thing that is taken into consideration is the speed of your answer. So the faster you answer, the more points you get. But don't be too fast, because correctness is the most important thing. How it works, so the one who answers first, so the fastest answer, gets 1,000 points for correct answer, of course. Second fastest gets 975, third fastest 950, and it goes following the same pattern, like 25 points less. up until 20th place, then everyone gets 500 points. Everyone who answered correctly. Okay? So this is how the points are distributed by the software itself. And after each question, there will be a leaderboard. You will see on your device your current position on the leaderboard, but I will also share the leaderboard let's say publicly here on the screen, so everyone can see their position. Please, just a short disclaimer, because this is the first time I'm doing it. Maybe there will be some hiccups here and there. There is no bad intention from my side, so if something doesn't work as expected, please, I kindly ask for your understanding. But hopefully everything will be fine, and we are doing it live, so it's another point to take into consideration. Okay, so I'm just scrolling through the chat. So many familiar faces. I'm so happy to see all of you guys here. Good, then, yeah, maybe why are we here today? To play the quiz. So let's start with the quiz, and I will first introduce, so let me just remove this. We don't need it anymore. So I'll start the event. You can scan the barcode, the code, the QR code you see on the screen, or you can go, if you prefer to play, by going directly to the platform itself. The platform is called WooClap, so wooclap.com. Event code is the one that you can see on the screen. And then I'll give you enough time, guys, for everyone to join. And then we'll start with a test question, which doesn't bring any points. So I see 6 of you are already in there. That's great. Let's wait for everyone to join. The more players, the more fun. So yeah. I know this is for Ricardo. He lives in Barcelona. After we are done with quiz, I'm going to watch El Clásico. 16 players. Let's wait for 17, 30 more seconds to give everyone a chance to join. Okay, we have 20 players. That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so let's go. Let's start with the first question. Don't forget, this one is just to see how the thing works. So we don't give any points for the first question. But let's start. Let's see. If you see any problems, any issues, please write me in the chat, because we don't start quiz until everything works equally correct for everyone. So I'm now launching the first question. Okay, I see 18 answers came in. We have 21 players, so I hope for these three remaining votes it was something else and nothing, not technical issues with the platform. So here are the results. Okay, we have someone who doesn't really like FabriQuiz. That's also fine. We are all respectful to different opinions, but yeah, most of you uh, are FabriQuiz fans. That's great, and I hope that there will be more FabriQuiz fans in the following weeks and months. Yeah, what is FabriQuiz? Two of you ask that. So that's, in my opinion, a fun and interactive way to learn about Microsoft Fabric and also to have some fun, to spend some time uh, with like-minded data nerds, as I like to call us. Oh, hola Bernat, another Barcelonista here. So yeah, cool. Thanks everyone for answering. We saw results. Now I hope you are ready for the first real question. So I'll wait for like 10 seconds right now, and then I will launch the first question. So let's go. Okay, the voting is closed. Let's see results. Okay, we have everything here. Before I show the correct answer, maybe I can quickly explain what are these options and why the certain answer is the correct answer. Uh, yeah, Brent says we'll have to get some thinking music like Jeopardy. I'll think about that. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I love that. Okay, so to explain, uh, whenever you have a spike in capacity units consumption from using Spark workloads in Fabric, you can do certain things to avoid that, or at least to preserve your capacity, your remaining workloads from that capacity from being affected by these spikes in Spark workloads. So the first option is called Spark vOrder. Spark vOrder or vOrder in general is a special algorithm that Microsoft is using inside Microsoft Fabric as a way to additionally optimize the way the data is written and stored inside Delta Parquet files. So vOrder happens during the data writing process, and it increases the performance of queries that are reading the data later from these Delta Parquet tables. So Spark vOrder will not prevent capacity unit consumption or reduce capacity unit consumption. On the contrary, you will spend more capacity units during the data writing process because vOrder requires data to be sorted in a certain way. High concurrency mode means that you can run multiple notebooks within the scope of the single Spark session. So this will not, again, reduce the capacity units consumption. Intelligent cache is something else. It's for caching the data that later can be faster read. So we are getting to the correct answer, which most of you got it right. So it's Spark Auto Scale Billing. To be honest, I hate this name. I think it's a little bit misleading, but again, that's my opinion. So with Spark Auto Scale Billing, essentially, you can once you activate this feature, you can scale out these hard, complex Spark workloads, and then you will be charged with pay-as-you-go model just for those Spark workloads. So it's kind of a serverless provisioning for your Spark workloads, so they will not affect in any way your current capacity. So your capacity stays safe from these Spark workloads, and these Spark workloads we run in a serverless manner, and you will be charged pay as you go for those workloads. So the correct answer in this case is Spark Auto Scale Billing. Before we move on, let's see the leaderboard. Okay, I don't know who is behind this Huse, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out throughout the competition. Okay, I'm happy that most of you got it right. Now, I will wait for another 10-15 seconds and then I will launch question number 2. Okay, question number 2. Bernat says, who says new member of Esbrina? You guys are rocking over there then. Congratulations, Huse, for joining Esbrina. Okay, time is up. So let's check results. Okay, we have interesting spread here. So let's read the question and let's try to understand why just one of these options is correct. So it says company has data stored across multiple Azure Data Lake storage accounts and Amazon S3 buckets. And you need to create a unified view for analytics without moving the data. Which Fabric feature provides the most efficient solution? So let's go with option number 1, data pipelines to copy data to OneLake. So if you use copy data activity inside the pipeline, two things happen that make this answer incorrect. First of all, you are moving the data. So with copy data, we are connecting to the data source and literally moving this data into Fabric. Second thing, with copy data activity, we will create a physical copy of the data inside OneLake in Microsoft Fabric. Now, most of you got it between shortcuts and mirroring. So mirroring and shortcuts are very similar features, and I know a lot of people are being confused with this between these two. So with mirroring, we are creating a real-time or near real-time replica of the data that is stored outside of Fabric. We are creating near real-time replica of that data inside Fabric within a special item called mirror database. Now mirroring, first of all, mirroring physically ingests the data, physically moves the data from the data source, same as copy data. The difference is that you don't need a pipeline, so it happens automatically. And the second thing, mirroring is not supported, at least not as of today, for Azure Data Lake Storage and Amazon S3 as data source. Which brings us to a correct answer, which are OneLake shortcuts, one of the coolest features in the entire Fabric. So with shortcuts, basically we are creating a virtual copy of the data that is stored outside of Microsoft Fabric. It can be also stored internally inside OneLake, but that's another story. Regarding this question, shortcuts are supported for both Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 accounts and Amazon S3 buckets. So without moving any data, we are creating a virtual copy. So the correct answer in this case is OneLake shortcuts. Let's quickly check our leaderboard. Okay, this will be sorted later in a proper order. As far as I can see, we have Pretax and YTFKD. Cool, cool, good. Then I'll wait for another 15 seconds and we move to question number 3. Let's go with the next question. In case you guys have any comments, please feel free to drop them in the, or questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Okay, time is up. Let's check results and let's analyze answers, potential correct and incorrect answers. So you need to ingest data into Lakehouse from a SQL database that contains over 500 million records. Data should be ingested without applying any additional transformations. And solution must minimize costs and effort. What should you use? So there are a couple of important things to consider here. The first one is data should be ingested without applying any additional transformations. So we can do that in 3 out of 4 ways. First of all, we can't use Notebook to connect to a SQL database. At least it's very complicated, technically possible, but very complicated. So it boils down between copy data activity, data flow Gen 2, and SQL store procedure. So data flows Gen 2 are a great tool that minimizes effort, but only in case if you have requirement to have to apply different transformations. If we are talking about transferring 500 million records, chances are the data flow is not the best solution in terms of costs because it consumes a lot of capacity units. And compared to other options here, in terms of minimizing costs, data flow Gen 2 is not the best solution. Now, we are between SQL store procedures and copy data activity in pipelines. Store procedures are great, very powerful, like we know from old times before, even before Fabric. But writing a store procedure, I would say, requires way more effort than simply using copy data activity inside the pipeline, where with a couple of clicks and setting the details for connection and destination, you are able to transfer large amounts of data without applying any transformations. That's why it's called copy data, with least amount of effort. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is copy data activity in pipelines. So most of you got it right. And let's take a quick look at our leaderboard. YTFKD. Okay, man, you need to change this nickname. I can't pronounce that. So we have a very interesting situation, but it's still early stage. So a lot more questions in front of us. Good. Then I'll wait for another 15 seconds and then I will launch question number 4. Let's go with question number 4. No worries, Brent. No worries. If you think that brings you luck, please stay YTIFKD. Good. Let's check our results quickly. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Good. Then instead of me talking through this, let me quickly show you. I'll open the notebook in Microsoft Fabric and let's see which programming languages are available inside of it. So PySpark is a default one, but if I open this window, so Scala is supported, Python is supported, T-SQL is supported. T-SQL, to be honest, is just for reading the data, but you can write T-SQL code inside the notebook. Out of these 4 options, only KQL is not supported for usage inside the notebook. So let's go back and let's check the correct answer. So KQL is the correct answer. That's the only language out of these 4 that is not supported in Fabric notebooks. Good. Then another look at the leaderboard. So Brent is leading, Pretax is close, Marcos, Berti. We have also many other competitors here very close. So yeah, let's move on to question number 5. Again, I'll wait for 15 seconds and then I'm launching the next question. Let's go, come back, yes. So let's go with question number 5. Time is up. Let's check results. Oh, okay. We have everything here except direct query. Very interesting. So let's go through the question. Let's read through the question, then let's explain why one of these options, only one of these options is correct. So Power BI is connecting to a warehouse. Business logic is encapsulated in T-SQL views. The requirement is to ensure the best possible performance of DAX measures. Which storage mode should you use? So a lot of you answered direct lake, which could have potentially be correct answer if the business logic was not encapsulated in T-SQL views. Why? Because T-SQL views are not supported for direct lake mode. If you are using direct lake on SQL type of direct lake mode, then they will fall back, these models will fall back to direct query mode, which is definitely not the best possible performance. If you're using direct lake on OneLake flavor of direct lake, which is the newer one, then you can't even add T-SQL views to your direct lake model. So direct lake is not the correct answer. So now we have someone responded dual. Dual storage mode is used for composite models where we combine import and direct query. But in case that we need to ensure the best possible performance of DAX measures, the only correct answer here is really import mode. So correct answer, let's confirm this, is import mode. Quick look at the leaderboard. No big changes as far as I can see. But there will be a lot of fight until the end. We are just halfway through, so please don't give up. Don't give up. Okay, going back and waiting for another 15 seconds, and then we move to question number 6. Hello, Marcos. Hello from Brazil. Greetings to Brazil. And welcome to FabriQuiz. Okay, let's go to question number 6. Yeah, Fernando, I see the points are not in descending order. Yes, I need to figure out how to sort this leaderboard, but I believe that it shows on your phone, it shows your current position. But we will check once the final leaderboard is completed, we will check everything. I promise that. But thanks for the heads up. Okay, time is up. Let's check results. Okay, we have a nice mixture of everything. Spark job definition, user-defined function and environment. No one picked Spark custom pool, which is good or bad. Let's see. But essentially, I will keep it short, very short here. And I will say that most of you got it right. So the environment is a special Fabric item that allows you to bundle, to package all of your hardware and software settings inside one item. And since this is a regular Fabric item like, I don't know, Lakehouse or Semantic Model, it can be shared with others inside the company, inside the organization. So within the environment, we can include various libraries, various Python libraries that we want to use inside our data engineering workloads. We can set hardware configurations, how many nodes, what are the Spark definitions, and so on. So the environment is the correct answer here, and I'm happy that most of you got it right. Quick look at the leaderboard. We have 4 remaining questions. Bert is very close. Marcos is close. Okay, good. We still have a very interesting bell here. 4 more questions. I'm waiting for next 15 seconds and then we'll move on to question number 7. Oh, don't tell me that it's freezing at 15 degrees. Fernando, please. It's -6 here in Salzburg, so I would love to freeze at your place at 15 degrees, definitely, yeah. Cool, then we are moving, right now we are moving on to question number 7. Time is up. Let's check results. Okay, let's explore various options that we had here. So I'll start with these options that we have 16% of answers. So data warehouses uses T-SQL while the SQL Lakehouse SQL endpoint uses Spark SQL. This is unfortunately not correct because we are also writing T-SQL on the endpoint of the Lakehouse. So we are using the same language, T-SQL language, for both warehouses and lakehouses. Lakehouse SQL endpoint, to be more precise. So this is not a difference. The data warehouse is powered by the Polaris engine, while the Lakehouse endpoint is powered by the Spark engine. Again, there is no difference in terms of the engine that is used to process the data between the warehouse and the SQL Analytics endpoint of the Lakehouse. It's the same engine, it's Polaris engine, which brings us to the correct answer, which is that SQL endpoint of the Lakehouse is read-only. So you can't run data manipulation language statements. You can't insert, update, and delete data in the Lakehouse through the SQL endpoint, while the data warehouse fully supports all of these operations. So that is the primary difference between SQL endpoint of the Lakehouse and the warehouse in Fabric. To confirm, this is our correct answer. And if we go and check results right now, it's still very interesting at the top between Brent and Marcos, but others still have their chance. 3 more questions to go. So I'll wait for another 15 seconds and then we proceed to question number 8. I see some of you answering in the chat. Unfortunately, this is not going to work. We are playing the quiz through the special software platform called VooClap. So you need to log in and play. I think it's a little bit too late, but if you want to join, please feel free. Okay, let's move on to the next question. I spoke a little bit about vOrder at the beginning, so if you listen to me carefully, you will get this question right. Oh yeah, Marcus, I think you're right about the ranking. I need to figure out. I just started using this software a couple of days ago. I was testing it, practicing a little bit, but obviously there are some things that I need to to figure out in a better way. Zakaria, you just joined our this quiz for DP600 or DP700. Not specifically, but it can get you a better feeling about Fabric, and these type of questions you may expect in both DP600 and DP700. So we are talking about, or we are creating questions about Fabric in general, but these type of questions you can easily expect also in these exams. Okay, time is up. Let's quickly check results. Most of you got it right, so I don't want to spend too much time to explain this, but you either knew that or you listened to me carefully, which both makes me happy. So no, it's not improved data ingestion speed. On the opposite, it's worse data ingestion speed, because there has to be additional time and resources spent to reshuffle, to reorganize the data when writing it into a Parquet file. And the main benefit of vOrder is that once the data is sorted in a specific way, the engines that are reading data from that table can retrieve the data faster. So optimize data reads for analytics, that's the correct answer. Let's take a look at the leaderboard before final two questions. Brent doesn't give it, so yes. But still 2 questions to go, so things can change. Things can change. Waiting for another 15 seconds, and then we proceed to the 9th question. Okay, ready for question number 9. Okay, time is up. Checking results. Oh, we have everything here. Let's then spend some time to explain what is the main architectural difference between Dataflow Gen 1 and Gen 2. Gen 2 can use Spark. No, this is not the case. Gen 2 is still relies on Power Query's mashup engine. In some cases, when you enable staging, it can use Warehouse engine for processing the data, but definitely cannot use Spark. Gen 2 doesn't support streaming data processing. It's the same as with Gen 1, so it's just a regular batch processing of the data. Gen 2 doesn't replace pipeline. So pipeline is a data orchestration tool. It's a completely different purpose. With the pipeline, we can define the workflow. We can orchestrate multiple activities and order of their execution. Dataflow Gen 2 is just an ETL tool that is used to connect to data source, make some transformations, and load this data somewhere. In the case of Dataflow's Gen 1, the old one, we store the result of this transformation, we store them as a data flow, right? And then we can connect to this data flow from Power BI. With Dataflow Gen 2, we can also output results of these transformations inside OneLake, so we can store our results inside lakehouse or warehouse. There are also some additional destinations that we can use, but talking about OneLake specifically, we can output the result of these transformations inside the lakehouse or warehouse, and then from there potentially all downstream workloads in Fabric can use them because it's delta table, so we can use them not just from Power BI, but we can also write SQL queries, Spark queries, and so on and so on. So the main difference between Dataflow Gen 1 and Gen 2 is that Gen 2 data flows can output results, can write the data into OneLake. Fernando says, I need to put this. I'm sorry if you feel this is complicated, but I tried to make it, let's say, intermediate, so it's not too easy, but also not too complicated. So, but obviously, the main idea here is also not just to win or have 100% of correct answers. The idea here is to learn, right? So the things that we don't know, we can learn them here, and that's, I think, the main benefit of this quiz, obviously. At least that's my opinion. But thanks, Fernando. Thanks. Okay, so the correct answer is the one that we mentioned. So let's take a look at the leaderboard before the final question. Oh, Marcus took the lead. So we will have a very interesting situation before the last question. Bertie is also close. And also, Bernat, you have a chance. Cool, that will be interesting. That's what I expected, to be honest. Okay, so let's wait for another 15 seconds and let's then move to the final question for this quiz. Okay, it's time for the final one. I knew it, but the last question in every edition of this quiz, the last question will be probably the most complicated one, at least for most of us. I'm not saying that we don't have any real-time intelligence or KQL experts here in the audience. So, yeah. Oh, you read a book on KQL and this is not even mentioned? Then, yeah, probably you didn't read carefully, or maybe, I don't know. Now, which one is that? Maybe I can give it a shot. But anyway, so let's take the result, take a look at results. I guess most of you did here a blind guess, but I don't blame you. Probably I would do the similar thing if I didn't have this situation brought up by a customer like a week ago, and then I explored a little bit more in depth about this topic, and that's how I came up with this question. So really, it's based on the real life scenario, and I'll tell you one thing. So regular joins like inner join, left outer join, right join, and all the other joins, they are executed on the event house single node. But we have some different join flavors where we can provide additional hints to these join conditions, which in some scenarios can speed things up and perform better than regular joins. So these two are two options that we can use are broadcast and shuffle. So I'll tell you that broadcast join is the execution strategy of join that distributes the join over multiple event house nodes. And this strategy is particularly useful when on the left side of the join condition, we have a small table up to several tens of megabytes or so. And in this case, broadcast join is more performant than a regular join. So the correct answer here is join kind equals broadcast. So if you don't believe me, I'm happy to share the link to the documentation that confirms this. But I can assure you that I tried this a week ago and it really helped. Okay, so let's take a look at the final leaderboard. Oh, Bertie won it at the last step. Congratulations, Bertie, on winning this quiz. Great work for Marcos, great work for Brent, Bernat, Debashish, Ricardo. A lot of points, a lot of correct answers. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Yeah, KQL, Marcos. Sorry, I know. Yeah, average Sunday learning new types of joins. Yeah, I know. So Bertie, you won the prize. You won the book. Please reach out to me through LinkedIn, or you can write me at. Let me just drop this. My email address, whatever is more convenient to you, and I'm happy to provide you with a prize. This is the book Fundamentals of Microsoft Fabric. I hope you don't have it. If you have it, let me know. We will figure out another prize for you. For everyone else, great competition. I personally had a great time. I hope you also enjoy the quiz. And yeah, so congratulations to everyone. Oh, okay. I see that you read most of the book. We'll figure out. Reach out to me. We'll figure out another prize. Okay. Yeah, it's 5 minutes to El Clasico. So that means I will slowly wish you nice rest of the day, evening, rest of the weekend, wherever you are. I'll see you in 2 weeks. So this quiz is planned to run every 2 weeks. So the next edition is on January 25. Same place, same time, just a different set of questions. And I hope to see you all again over there. Thanks for joining and enjoy the rest of your weekends. See you somewhere at the conferences or on socials.